your soul already made the contract to experience this in life. So your soul has chosen your parents because you have to learn something from a soul perspective about that. And the only thing why the soul is coming to earth is to learn something to be more complete. Yeah. And when you don't learn those lessons, in next life you will create the same problems till you learn your lessons. And then that's what we call an NLP, go to the meta view, in the meta position, see an overview of your life, and then you see why the soul has chosen for all those experiences.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the Starwolfunity podcast. And today we have an amazing guest. It is one of my special, teachers. I am following an NLP course, and the owner of Response Instituut in Roermond is now sitting in front of me.
Open, welcome.
And his name is Milan. How are you doing, Milan?
Good, very good. I'm very busy at this moment because there are lots of projects I'm working on, and I've got a few businesses I'm running. So it's not hard, but it's very busy. And I also got a private life. So my children sometimes want me to be at home, but it's more difficult in this period in my life. So, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
And can you tell us about who you are and what do you do? Because, I know, of course, you're my trainer.
So, Milan Somers, I'm 46 already, so you're 24, but it's going very fast when you're after your 30s.
Yeah.
But I'm a business owner, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, and I spend all of my life to find what is the key to success, what's the key to performance. And when I was a young boy, I was bullied a lot. I had a low self-esteem, and when I was 21, I was looking, okay, this is not the way. I need to change something inside of me. And I started with NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Did that for 10 years, and then I became an NLP trainer. But at that moment, I was a director of a company. Did many projects in the martial arts for our government, and I really loved it, but it was all politics, finance, solving problems, and I think, okay, this isn't something I want to do whole of my life. So everyone has some moments in life you wake up and you think, oh my God, my energy is low. And I thought by myself, okay, what's my passion? What do I really love? Not only for myself, but also to contribute to the world. Yeah. And then I started my NLP Institute, which is now an institute for NLP, for hypnosis and systemic work. Besides that, I've got a platform for hypnotherapists. And when you have a problem, you can go to the platform, you book an appointment, and they will help you. And in this moment, I'm doing a lot of work with quantum hypnosis, quantum timeline jumping. I'm one of the experts in Netherlands, Europe, together with Roermond, and to create a new world, to let people see they are not only human, but they are a human light being. So they are a being of a light, and what that means in life, and how you can get great potentials inside of you.
Yeah. And you touched a lot of subjects.
I know.
By the way, can we turn the phone upside down for that the viewers may be distracted?
Yeah. Okay.
So you touched a lot of subjects, and I was trying to keep count. First of all, what for the viewers of our young adults watching, what is NLP?
NLP is a model which teach you how to model success. So when you are talented at something, for example, you're playing piano, and I want to learn that, I don't only need to learn the behavior, I also need to learn your mindset, your competence, your talent, your skills, everything what isn't seeable but has a strategy. NLP uses to get conscious of the strategy, to implant it in your subconscious mind, so the subconscious mind can create and program a new software. And when this software, this programming is running inside of you, it will be extended to your behavior. So NLP is a skill set which learns, where you can learn how to be successful in different areas of your life.
Yeah. Actually, kind of like modeling per people who are already successful and seeing what type of minuscule things that they're doing, and recognizing them, and then all of a sudden taking them and applying to your own.
Yeah, but not only on the outside, but especially in the inside
internal,
of people. Internal. So when I want to be Tiger Woods, I have to do a lot of practice to become him. I will not become him, but but it's interesting that when he looks at the ball, how he needs to hit the ball, the wind, everything, and there is the hole, he can put it in 2 centimeters within the hole. And that's a strategy he uses. And when you learn this strategy, when you learn this path, you can walk this path. It doesn't mean that you directly can do it, but it means there is a way you can learn how to do it. So NLP is all about learning how to do things, not why or not what doing things.
Yeah. And is that also a bit like, for example, when a person sees a blockade or some other guy who is successful, when he comes to a situation, let's say me, I experience a blockade, but he doesn't experience that.
No.
So we are trying to analyze how he looks at the situation, and why doesn't he see the blockade and we do, right?
Yeah, and that's normally not about why does he do what he do, but it's the how.
Yeah.
So for an example, so when you go to a coach, the coach will ask you, why do you have this blockage, this pattern? And you say, I was 4 years old, my parents were divorced, and because they were divorced, I couldn't cope with, manage the situation, and that's why I blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to tell a story. But in NLP, we ask the questions, can you create this problem right now? And then you say, yes, I can feel this problem. And then I'm going to ask you, okay, how did you do that? And when you know how did you do that in a moment, we can change that. Intervene. For example, Tony Robbins, most people know him. He's an American empowerment guru. I was twice there in London, in London. I was with him, and there were 12,000 people. 12,000 people, all in a peak performance state, and he said, okay, who got a trauma? And a woman said, okay, I've got a trauma. And he walked to the woman, and he asked, okay, can you remember this trauma, and can you feel it right now? So she closed her eyes, and boom, it was already there with a split second. He said, interesting. And he asked, okay, from 0 to 10, what's the number you give your trauma? Now, she said, I don't know, she said an 8. And then he said, okay, can you make it a 9? She closed her eyes and said, yes, now it's a 9. He said, interesting. He said, okay, shake up. And he said, okay, just think about the trauma again. And when the woman started with the process, he didn't do that, but he intervened. And he said, okay, when was the last time you had sex? And she and 10,000 people. Okay, we would like to know that. And I think she said 6 weeks ago. I said, okay. It was a joke. Tony said, okay, close your eyes, go to the trauma again. And she started it, and then she said, did you get an orgasm or not? Everyone was watching. And then he said, okay, it's not about that, but just think about the problem again. And she couldn't recall it anymore. So it's a strategy interrupt, a pattern interrupt. And then we can train the brain to learn new stuff. This is not the way to go. This is how you are programmed. But we need to install a new program. And when we install this new program, then you can create the outcomes where the people who are already there, you can also get over there. So when you want to be a millionaire, you don't talk to someone who only earns 20,000 euros a year and hasn't got this million. You want to go to someone who's a millionaire, for example, multimillionaire, and you're just going to ask them, how did you do it? And they will tell you the story, how they did it. But when you say to your friends, within a year, I'm going to be a millionaire, they say, Alperen, what are you talking about? This is foolish. Yeah. Look where you live. Look what you have. How can you be a millionaire? Yeah. But they are in the same environment that you are, with the same frequency, the same belief system, and you need someone with another belief system that's already had found a path to become what you want to achieve. Yeah.
It's like the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with.
For an example. Yeah. And when you are disappointment in life, in areas in your life, change it. Yeah. It not overcomes you. You become it. Yeah. And you have to become someone else to create something else. Yeah. So when you want to be a millionaire or you want to be vital, live with people and connect with people who live vital, and they will show you the way.
And how did your journey for meeting those like-minded people, and how did your journey became about that you built the Response Institute? Like you said, maybe when you were growing up, Milan, what do you think? Response Institute? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, because in my family, everyone wanted to become a business owner, but nobody did. And I'm the first one who became a business owner. And there was a moment in life that I was on 2 paths. One to my business path, to be a director of the company, career, making a lot of money. But there was a part of me that said, okay, Milan, there's more in life than that. And then I was in doubt, okay, what do I really want when not my ego is talking to me, but my heart is talking to me? And I did an Ayahuasca trip. And I asked this question to Mother Ayahuasca, show me the path in life. And
is that Gaia, by the way? Like, in a weird way, Gaia. Just like one of my...
it's not the energy of Gaia, but for me it's more the energy of the quantum field. Everything there is, the cosmic intelligence form that speaks with you or guides you to processes and knows everything on a cosmic level. Yeah. And I asked, okay, what's my mission in life? So the first thing they did, they brought me back to my history, to my past. And I saw all my traumatic events in life. And I thought, why are you showing me this? And she said, okay, Milan, you think these are negative experiences, but they are not. They tell you a story. There's a message inside. And the message is, when you have an unconditional love for yourself, you can create everything you want. But what you did in those experiences in the past, you were hoping for a gift of the universe to be special, but you are the gift. So your mission in life, so my mission in life is what the Buddhism call Maitri, the unconditional love for yourself. And how, when you are in that flow, in that state, how you communicate and interact with the world. And I felt this mission in my heart. And then I told myself a different story about my past. And then I thought, okay, this is interesting. So my belief is right now, so everything you have to deal with in life is just, that is what you need to experience to create your purpose in life and to have a meaningful life. And that's when I started the Response Institute and say, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel my mission. I'm just going to start, and I will see what will happen. And now we are 16 years later, and it's not one business, it's more business, but it's always from the drive of the mission. It's never about money, success, or whatever.
And how did you figure out, like, okay, so this is what I want? How did you find the capacity to pursue that? Like, okay, you found your mission, and now you have to like start it. How?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I earned a lot of money as a director of the other company, and then you start from lots of money to nothing.
Yeah.
So it cost me 1 year to make really the decision, because first I was the director of the company and I did some NLP trainings, and then I said, okay, it's not copable with each other. I have to make a real decision. And then after a year I saw and I was convinced, hey, this is my path. I know what I can do. And in the early years, I learned a lot about consultancy, project management, running a business for someone else. Yeah. And I was trained for 10 years in how the mind is working. Yeah. And then you got the trust, the self-esteem, and I said to myself, okay, I just have to make this jump. And I jumped it, and it's difficult. It's not difficult, it's strange. You cope with it for a year, and you struggle with it. Yeah. And I made a decision, and after one day I said to myself, why did I struggle for 1 year with it? Yeah. It's so much freedom. And then you create what we call a new timeline, a new path, and you're going to walk this path, and you see all different kind of new things, and you just explore life again.
Yeah. It's just like when I kind of relate that story with my story with skydiving. Yeah. My first skydive, when the door opens, then you say like, maybe that's not a good idea, you know. But after like you release the door, you just like Will Smith, like there's one video online that Will Smith talks about his first skydive. Yeah. And he's right, because the first jump is the scariest one, because you have
in the free flow, you mean, or with the instructor?
No, without. I just skydived immediately as you have to do as AFF. It's called. It's like 7 levels. Okay. I wasn't attached to someone.
Oh, no one.
No, there was 2 guys holding me, like just to train to jump alone. I have 25 jumps now. Okay. But like I was holding the door, and he was saying like they thought normally you would do a tandem. That's like you're.
That was my first one. Yeah. The only one.
Normally you would do a tandem, and you say like, "Oh, this is fun," and then you do the course. But me, when I'm a weird guy, I immediately did.
Of course.
So the guy said, "Okay, on 3 you have to release the door." You know, but there is like the part of you that's like scared when you see the ground, right? Yeah. But actually, if at the point you release the door and you jump out, just like after 2 seconds, you have there's a difference between falling and flying. Yeah. Like flying, it feels like your bliss. Like it doesn't feel like when you go too hard over above with the car. Yeah. Then that is falling, right? But flying, it feels different, you know. And it is after you jumped and after you released that door that you realize that the whole part of being scared was actually for nothing, right? Yeah. But you have to make that conscious decision of to jump, to take that leap onto the business idea, or maybe you're gonna fail, but that is the part of the process, right?
And that's what we call the ego, and you have to get beyond the ego, and the ego motivates you by scaredness, to be afraid of things. So when you are beyond this ego, then you really feel what life is all about. Yeah. And so every fear is just an illusion of the mind to prevent to doing something, because the ego wants to have the same things always and always, because that's controllable, that they can manage. But life is not about your conditionings, your programs, and staying the same. It's constantly an evolving process of being a better version of yourself. So it's a really great metaphor about also things in life. You're scared about something, and it's not about where you're scared about, it's about being afraid of that.
Yeah.
And when you go through this illusion, you think, really? Was it so difficult?
Was that,
And I think what you also experience is, hey, when I'm beyond this fear, I can feel my skills.
yeah.
And I'm totally focused and committed to the task I have to do. And it has come to the ground safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like after that, the seventh jump, it just became boring to me. Literally, I'm not kidding.
Yeah?
It's just literally. I have one. Yeah, it is. Maybe that's like a side story, but I have one story of. I think it was the 20th jump. I used psychedelics and then I jumped.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah.
But they didn't know. But yeah, that's like on my first stand-up comedy that I gave. That was the joke. That's I skydive with hallucinating
Psychedelics.
drugs.
Okay.
So that's yeah. It's you have to pump up with it like make fun of it.
Yeah, of course. Life is about having fun.
Yeah. But I could have could have ended terribly. But to get the main point, it's just like getting besides that fear. But isn't fear like a way of your body protecting yourself? You know, like, okay, we have our limits. The ego that you said, the ego is trying to, in a way, protect you. Like back in the days, the fear of going outside out of the cave to hunt for food, the fear is holding us back because the tiger might come and eat us.
So we've got different kinds of fear. The first one is to survive in this world.
Yeah.
So when you see a snake, when you see a lion, just run away because it's not an illusion, it's real.
Yeah.
It can hurt you. But most of our fears are programmed. We are all hypnotized by our parents, by school, by the system, what we can and what we cannot do. And what parents do, they project their own life, their own truth to your truth.
Yeah.
And what's happening then, they want to prevent you to be safe. So every fear that is an illusion is just the intention to make you safe. But this fear isn't real. And when you prevent yourself going through this fear, your life will be smaller and smaller by quality. And just seeing that some are truthful fears, but most of them are just the illusion, the hypnosis, the suggestions someone gave you before. Because I've got 2 dogs. I've got Staffordshire Bull Terriers. And most people walk with a bow around us when we walk in the streets. But it's just how they perceive the dog. It's not who the dog is. Yeah. Because I've got 2. One I call Buddha. She isn't the Buddha, but she's really nice. And they're family animals. And when they are at home or with other people, they just want to play. They're funny. They listen. They attract you to be playful. Yeah. But it's not what people see. So people don't see what is real. They see their imagination and how they perceive what is real. Yeah. So it's not about what is happening in life. It's the meaning about a life, and the meaning is the hypnosis.
Yeah, what they have experienced or programmed from their past, and then that's how they perceive the dog.
Carl Jung said, "Perception is projection. Everything that is within your awareness, it's you. It's not the world. Yeah, but it's your relationship with the world, and your relationship first with yourself, second with the world, is how you move through the world." Yeah. So when I had a limiting belief about myself, I'm not worthy, and the world is a scary place, I never came out. I was introvert. I was my focus was inside. I didn't create. But it's not about the world. It's not about me. It's just the things I believe. And NLP or hypnosis are great techniques to see your belief system, because when you don't see your belief system, it's the truth. But when you see it as a belief system, it becomes a belief, and every belief you can change. But you can change the truth.
And you have to also. I also wanted to ask. First of all, you have to make the conscious, be aware of you're not your belief system. You're not a smoker.
You have a belief system. And you just smoke as a behavior. But you are not a smoker.
No smoker. No. You act like a smoker.
You act like a smoker, yes.
And the perception that you were talking about in NLP, we call model of the world, right? Yeah. And also, this young adults who are watching, how can you make the difference between a fear that is good and a fear that is just holding you back from your potential? Like a simple maybe technique that you apply to your life would help young people to make the decisions in their early career.
The first one is a difficult question, because I learned, and I hope you learned in NLP, to make a distinction what is real and what isn't real, what's a projection and what is real outside of the world. So a lot of people say, for example, that's my intuition, and my intuition is saying I'm not working with this person, I'm not going to in a relationship with this person. But it's not intuition. Normally it's a conditioning where the mind says, hey, you look like someone I know when I was 3 years old, and it projects it in your mind with the feelings about that. So that's not intuition, that's conditioning. And NLP has a lot of techniques it's deprogramming your conditionings, deprogramming your mind. Anchoring is one of them. And anchoring is a stimulus response, Pavlov reaction. So there's a trigger outside and you got a response. Maybe when we are in an interaction with each other, I say something and you feel mad about it. And you think, why do I feel mad? I don't want to feel mad because Milan is a great guy. And I feel mad. So what we then do is look at the process and say, okay, what's the trigger? Maybe it's how I look at you. Maybe it's the words I say. Maybe it's my energy. And then we teach you, okay, subconscious mind, normally this is the programming. This is the trigger. This is the response of madness. The things we're going to do now is to create a new response. And what we say in NLP, every resource is already inside of you. The only thing you have to know is not to feel it as a problem, is to know what you want. And when you focus your mind on what you want, for example, I want to be peaceful in this conversation, and when Milan is saying those words, I want to have a resource of peace, harmony, balance inside of me. And then we look inside the system, the subconscious mind, in all your experiences. Where is this resource stored? For example, when you were 15 and meditating and you feel harmony and balance. And then we say to the mind, okay, take this quality, project it on this conversation between us, and that's the most magnificent thing I think there is in our mind. It will shift in an instant. But some people say that can be true because I've got this problem for 10 years. It can disappear in 1 second. But that isn't true. It's just the belief you have. And when we let people stop smoking, it's in an instant they are stopped with smoking. And maybe they smoked for 40 years, 2 packages a day. And that's the power of the mind. It's also the power of NLP.
Yeah. And this also touches on that this structure of the thing that you know, the thing that you don't know, the thing that you don't know, and the thing that you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
and that's the lowest part. And you have to make these patterns in a way that you like go the stages lower until you found the thing that you do, but you don't know you do.
Yeah, so
right?
the first of the second one is you are aware of the things you can do.
Yeah.
So be aware of your incompetent.
Yeah.
And it's a crucial factor in every learning strategy of
Yeah.
someone is am I motivated to learn it?
Yeah.
And then when you don't know it, you can train it. For example, when you're driving a car, the first lessons, I think you think, oh my God, 3 pedals, 2 feet, how I'm going to cope with it.
Yeah.
And then you say, but I want to learn how to drive a car.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So what you do, you train the skills.
Yeah.
And then when you have an exam of driving the car, you're conscious, aware, and you've got the skills. But you can't drive the car for a little bit. Then when you've got your examination and you're passed it, then what's happening? You're going to train, and I hope for you now you're it's trained in your subconscious mind because it's automatic pattern.
Yeah.
So you don't have to think how to drive the car. And when you don't have to think anymore, then you can say it's a competence or it's a skill that is trained inside of me.
Yeah.
And then is the phase, is this the quality of the things I want to do?
Yeah.
For example, when I was young, I played tennis. I was good at it, but I came to a certain level and I was unaware, but I had the skills of it. But I want to get higher up. And then I went to the whole process again to see where I improve. And the trainer said to me, okay, Milan, we have to change your grip. And then when they changed my grip, I said, oh my God, I can't play tennis anymore. And that's the phase for people when they say, I go back to the old manner because I know what I have. But then you stay to what we say an upper limit. You can't go above the ceiling about that. And that's how you push yourself constantly to the ceiling and say, okay, now I want to go through it. And that's a phase of chaos, frustration, irritation, because you think I'm never going to learn that. And then in an instant, boom. When your drive is high enough, you will manage to deal with it. Yeah.
And you can also apply this. This is what I want to go. Yeah, you can also apply this with struggle or like a bad pattern that you're also stuck within. You have to like go into that unconscious way that you're like going to the stages and go into that place where you do it, but you do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
And then realize it, and then all of a sudden intervene it, and then make it something that you consciously do, but you don't know how to do, but then you start and learn and then go the ladder again.
That could be a process. When we use hypnosis, the only thing we do, we go to the subconscious mind, which is stored every memory, every behavior, every emotion, every skill, every belief system, every value. Yeah. And it's an intelligence form. And when we put people into a trance and we communicate with the subconscious mind, we first tell, okay, this is the behavior you do. Yeah. And you think it's good for the person. So someone is smoking, not for the smoking, because the subconscious mind believes it gives me freedom. Yeah. It gives me peace or harmony of companionship with someone else. And then we say to the subconscious mind, but do you know then that when someone is smoking, someone can get cancer and can kill someone. And then the subconscious mind will be in a shock. And then you tell, stop this. When you want this person to be more in peace, don't smoke, meditate. And you give another option to the subconscious mind. And for the subconscious mind, it doesn't matter. The behavior doesn't matter. It's the intention behind it, the value behind it. And when we can create an alternative for the smoking, for example, meditation, walking, do sports, or do something else, and we structure that and program that, the subconscious mind only says, okay, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Our mind, our conscious mind, is always judging the things, but not our subconscious mind.
Yeah, awesome subjects. And how did you man, I forgot the question because I was so into your story. How like the quantum timeline jumping, right?
Yeah.
I remember again. Like Tony Robbins, I listened to his stories a lot, and you said you can do your mission, like when you took that ayahuasca trip or like ceremony, that you realized you can do your mission without like the force of you have to do it, right? With love.
Yeah.
But I heard Tony Robbins say mostly when he was starting up, he had this drive of, this is I'm not gonna experience this anymore. So with pain anger,
or pleasure.
Yeah.
That are the two motivation strategies in the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he at first he uses that to achieve like the beginning or the beginning phase, and after that he does it with abundance and love and being enough. But that first part, it's like,
and there's no problem. There's no problem,
eh?
because when you're stuck in life,
yeah,
the only thing you want is you don't want to be at that place.
yeah. In
Maybe
NLP, it's called is away from, right?
It's the away from.
It's away from, yeah.
Away from the problem state.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't know where you want to go to.
Yeah.
The only thing you know, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So when someone, for example, wants to be a millionaire, you can be a millionaire because you want to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But there are also a lot of people who want to become a millionaire because they don't want to be broke.
Yeah.
And that's the motivation strategy. Yeah. But when they use the motivation strategy not to be broke and they become a millionaire, the fear is still there.
Yeah.
And they don't experience gratitude.
Yeah.
So when you go away from being broke, there has to be on the way some turnover to become okay. This is not going to happen anymore because I'm too far away from this point. What do I want? And then you create a towards strategy.
Yeah.
And then the balance between the away from and the towards, that's the meaning of life. Because sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's pleasure, there is love, but it's the balance in between what is necessary for you.
Yeah. So would you kind of agree then, or did you have that experience that you, in the beginning phases it was like away from strategy?
No, not for my business.
Not for your business.
For my business, not, because I did the ayahuasca trip and I really felt, this is my path in life. I want to do it. But when I started with NLP, it was an away from strategy, because I don't want it to be unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be fearful. I don't want it to be miserable. So that was my starting point.
Yeah.
And after the first year, I was ready with my NLP practitioner, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do the master. But I didn't do the master because I want to be an NLP master. I did it because I thought, okay, maybe when I stop with NLP, everything I learned, it will vanish. So I'm going to start with a master. And then after the master, I did for 4 years, I did some assistant work. You are also an assistant.
I'm just following in your footsteps.
Yeah. And that's good because we need pioneers in that.
Yeah.
But after, I think, 5 years, I said, okay, I'm a different person.
Yeah.
What do I want with this? And then I started to create my vision, my path, and this is the way to go. And then it turned over.
Yeah, awesome. It's so your story was more like you did it from a bit mostly about abundance, right? Like you felt that was your mission, and you didn't have like this really, really big fear. Like to be honest, not lately, but in my earlier stages, I had that.
Yeah.
Like literally, I had so much experiences that I'm now having like, I don't want to experience this anymore. And it created such an amazing place that I'm in right now. I'm meeting like-minded people.
Yeah.
I'm meeting really good people. But I know my drive lately is that I don't want to experience this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sometimes like trying to make the conscious being aware of, okay, look, after a while it's gonna have to change about instead of being I don't want this anymore, it's gonna be about, okay, I have enough, I have my cup is full, now I can pour into other people instead of
and that's in neuroscience. There's one sentence, and it's everywhere attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
And when the attention is about away from, you will feel fear. When the attention is going towards, then you feel the love, the pleasure, everything that is comes with it. So it doesn't matter to be fearful sometimes. The only thing is, what's the signal of the subconscious mind? What's on the other side of the medallion? Because that what I said in the beginning, my life was a story about being miserable, being alone. But my belief system right now is everyone has to have experiences in life to see the other side of the medallion. And there is where your mission, where your heart, where your passion is all about.
Yeah. So you have to, you cannot appreciate something if you don't know what it is, what the other side is. You cannot appreciate how it is to live wealthy if you have never experienced what it's like to...
Yeah, and then you are an expert in it.
Yeah.
Because you experience it. And what Tony Robbins said, it's not about your past. We all have experience in our past that aren't nice for us. It's about the story you tell in the present about the past. And that relationship makes every choice you make. Now I really can say, because I'm bullied, I was 21 when I crashed, I looked for NLP, and now I really do what I love. It's because I was bullied. But I could also tell the story, I'm bullied. It's not, I'm not guilty of being bullied. I'm neglected. I'm insecure. They were the offender of that. No, that's not true. It's just the story, and the experience is the same.
Yeah, the same story. I don't know if you heard my story. I was the Turkish guy who was in a religion or Catholic middle school. Just the same. Oh man, that was so. I was raised in this Bocholt, is the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you...
You told it on the training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I experienced the same thing, and yeah, it's if my situation or my father and my mother was the mother and the parents that I wanted them to be, I wouldn't be in the same situation that I was in.
No.
And also, if I weren't bullied, if I had the white picket fence life, I wouldn't be in the same situation that I'm right now.
No. And let's go a little bit deeper. You told about quantum timeline jumping.
Yeah.
Your soul already made the contract to experience this in life. So your soul has chosen your parents because you have to learn something from a soul perspective about that.
Yeah.
And the only thing why the soul is coming to earth is to learn something to be more, complete. Yeah. And when you don't learn those lessons, in next life, you will create the same problems till you learn your lessons. And then that's what we call an NLP, go to the meta view in the meta position, see an overview of your life. And then you see why the soul has chosen for all those experiences. And then you can give this other meaning. And then you create another reality, a new person. And then the only thing you have to do, okay, when I'm this new person, what do I want to create? So life is not overcoming you. You are the creator of your life.
Yeah. And for some people that are like stuck in their daily lives, it's a big jump to make in their conscious mind to say, wait, the things that are happening to me, the bullying, the drug addiction, this, that, it is happening to me. How can it be that's happening for me? How can my death of my, let's say, child or whatever, what person would want that to happen? But I believe that too, in that you have chosen your parents, you have chosen that situation to learn certain things.
Yeah.
But it's a big jump that you have to make. Like I was a religious, I was Islamic, and from that truffle trip that I had with my first serious relationship, that was the jump. But it was something with plant medicine that I made that jump. But certain people, that's also why I want to create for young adults that plant truffle ceremony.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future ayahuasca ceremony, also with Yolanda, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was really when people are in a rut, they need something like a kickstart, like a push in the back, like, okay, you're stuck, but you have to make that jump in order to realize you're looking at this from this perspective. Yeah. Open your view portals, right?
Yeah, because when you don't experience duality in life, everything will be the same. And because when we have duality, we have a choice. So you talked about a model of a world. So we create a model how we can cope with this world. And the first models and the first chart you get is from your parents, from the system. And they say, okay, you can't go there. You have to go this way. You can't go that way. And they tell you what are the boundaries of this chart. And then you will become in puberty. And then you think, I don't want this chart. I want to create a new model. And then you zet je er vanaf.
How do you call it? Disassociate.
Yeah, disassociate. Very good.
Yeah.
You want to disassociate from it because you want to have your own model in the world. Yeah. But you have to experience first what you don't want to feel better, what you do want. Yeah. So, and how harder our experience in the emotions, desto bigger is the drive. So when you felt a lot of pain in the past, a lot of fear in the past, the only thing you have to remember, you developed power and strength to deal and cope with this fear. And there is a little village in Malaysia, it's called Senoi, and they do something with lucid dreaming, and they activate your biggest fear in the dream. And the only thing they do that is not to let you feel this fear, but to put you in the situation where you can feel how powerful you are to cope with this fear. Yeah. And that's the same thing. So whatever painful situation you had in life, you're still there. Yeah. And you managed. Yeah. And when you focus on what resource, what quality was developed by this fear, you know you don't need those situations anymore to create a better life.
Yeah. And yeah, that's so amazing. Like that's their strategy that they're using to cope with that and to deal with that certain pain or traumas. And how did you the quantum line jumping, right? Yeah. How did you how can you use that in your, how do you use that, by the way, in your daily life mostly?
The daily life is knowing how the quantum field works. So when I want something in life that isn't in my life right now, I know I have to become another person to create it. For an example, when I'm insecure here, I want to be someone with a lot of self-esteem over here. But I walk the path of being insecure. I'm not going to have self-esteem over here. I have to project myself into the future, feeling, knowing how it is to experience self-esteem, and then create it inside of a new model, a new me, and then walk the path through the self-esteem. So quantum timeline jumping is using timelines. And timelines is we need space and time to experience something. Now we're sitting here, it's 11 o'clock, tonight I'm somewhere else, different place, different time, different experience. And all those experience, when we put them in chronologic behind each other, we create a timeline. And when I always make the same choices when I did in the past, and I will make this choice in the now, my future will be the same as the past. But when I want to create a new future, I have to make a new choice. It's meaning I have to leave my past. I have to create a new now in a resonance, in a frequency. And that is what we're doing. Okay, we go in the quantum field, the 5D reality, where everything is possible, everything is already there in the now. And how can I connect with this? And what we say, you make a jump to another parallel timeline where there is a quantum self, the best version of yourself, who already knows does the things you want in this life. The first thing you do, you observe how this quantum self is living. You learn how to communicate with this quantum self. You learn how to meld together with this quantum self. And then we say to the subconscious mind, and download all the vibrations, the frequencies, the mindset, the state of mind, the emotions, the strategies, and bring those back to the present timeline, in the present, activate those vibrations so you make a new choice. And then when you make this new choice, the quantum timeline in a parallel reality and your own timeline will merge to each other and become one timeline, and you will become the new version on your new timeline in the creation of everything that already is and will be.
Yeah. Oh man. So what you actually do is connect with the version that already has and did what you wanted, actually, what the desired outcome is.
Yeah.
And then you connect with him, but is this like a muscle you have to train? Like
of course, because you have to train your brain, and our brain works with trigger response, neuro associations. So when you say to me, okay, Milan, go into a trance and make this jump in 5 seconds, I'm in trance, and because my brain and subconscious mind knows, and this is already NLP, knows the strategies, knows the steps to go over there. The only thing I have to do is to create the intention. What do I want to experience? And I only want to know what I want, that's here, why I want it, it's over here, and then the how is not for us, it's for the subconscious mind in correlation to the quantum field. They create the how. And then that sometimes you think about a person and then they call you, or then you see them. And that's because you put an intention into the field to connect with them, and the how is created by the field. And you say that's a coincidence. No, it's not coincidence. It's synchronicity.
I understand immediately what you said, and it's so amazing how it works. Though it's like an internet connection. We don't see it.
It's the Wi-Fi connection.
We don't see it, but it is like a whole new universe or whole new field. Like it's like an internet connection. You can connect with each other, and there is like this type of energy we don't yet know how to tap into.
No,
at least we are learning to.
No, and we're learning about psychology in our society. We're learning about the quantum field in our society, and we combine those two with the insights, and we use them to activate our brain to go to greatness, to do the things in life we want. Because when I'm looking at our society, I really think it's a fucked up society. It's not a society I want to live in. And many people feel like this. But what they say, it's the society. No, it's you inside the society. And the society, it's not I, it's all of us. And an I with an I is a we. And a we with a we is all of us.
Yeah.
So the change is starting with yourself, just in your imagination, first who I want to be and in which kind of world I want to live in.
Yeah.
And then create this world in your little scope of influence. But when you want to be your children to be happy, the only thing you have to do is to be happy by yourself, because then your children will see what happiness is. And they will learn the strategies about it. Not telling, for example, when you are unhappy and you want your children to be happy, you say, children, be happy. You're not the example for them. Just be the example you want to be.
Yeah. And the children part is they can also sense it. Like
of course. It's an energy field.
Yeah.
It's there is an incongruent what you say and what they can feel about you.
Yeah.
It's something I say, yes.
Yes.
So verbal and non-verbal is not.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No, we had that lesson. Yeah, you told us. Also, that's you touched on a subject like we as a community, we are getting more conscious and conscious. And also want to touch on a subject. We are also building a like-minded community, and we are trying to do it in English because we can reach more people. And also the way you are doing with quantum timeline jumping, and I am more of just for young adults and trying to make them more conscious of their own patterns and using NLP techniques and also spiritual ones. Yeah. But what are your thoughts about like we are both building the communities? What are your thoughts about the building communities and what power they have in their in society? And
it's very important to connect to other people with the same frequency, because when you are on the same level of vibrations, it will combine 1 + 1 is not 2 but 3. They did experiments in cities, I think it was Los Angeles or California, I don't know, and they meditated with all the intention of to drop the figures of crime inside the city. And when they did the experiment, crime dropped for 25%. And that is what when we connect to each other, we are so powerful. And that's also to the listeners. When you feel alone, when you feel sad, the first thing you have to do is to connect to other people. Because when they have a vibration that is higher than your vibration, they will rise you up. And that's so important. Don't do it alone. We live in a society where we think we have to be powerful enough to do everything alone. And that's not true. We are human beings. We live in a community. We need a community to do it together. That's how we survived in the past, and that is how we will survive in the future. So reach out also for yourself. When you see someone struggling, just reach out your hand and say, I'm not going to give you an advice. When you need me, I'm over here. Just come. And that's the gesture you have to make.
Like in NLP, we also learn like you just give not directions, but you give advices, not just say like you have to do this, right? And you just say like, okay, ask questions in order to steer them in the right direction.
Of course, so they
because if they don't do that, if you say you have to do this, then people don't like to get told what to do.
No, they reject it.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you say, okay, this is an opportunity, this is a possibility, this is an option, just choose one. It's your choice. So when I guide people, I always say I'm the tour guide inside the subconscious mind. You are the traveler, but we have to do it together. I can't guide you somewhere when you don't want to see it. And when you want to go somewhere and I say to you, it's not a good place to go, maybe you have to listen to me. Yeah. So it's companionship.
Yeah. And yeah, that's so true. So in my community, I also struggle with that because I see certain people that are asking for my advice and help, and what I'm coaching, I see their problem, and it is so tempting to say, look, there is a problem.
Yeah. What is your map? It's your
Yeah.
model of the world you
Oh, yeah.
use.
I so okay, listen, just let them be. But there's also the when you see the problem, and you say, okay, look, you can call me or message me whenever you want. Sometimes they have a blockade that they don't do that. There's like, oh, maybe he's doing this and that, and they have their own conscious, but you cannot do anything about that, right?
No, one of the things you learn in NLP is never to mind read.
Yeah.
Never to go inside the mind of someone else, because you really don't know what's happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
For an example, you don't even know what's happening in your brain instead of the brain of the other person. Just ask. The only thing people are afraid of to get a no. But maybe you can reframe this, that a no for you is a yes for the other person to him or herself. And that's an expression of love. So don't feel rejected when someone is lovable for themselves. Maybe you can learn something about that.
Yeah, just don't fill it in for another person.
No.
That's so, because we are kind of like almost in a way programmed just to immediately, oh look, there's the problem.
I know. And the only thing we can do is look at it through our own glasses. Our own maps, our own things we have learned. But it's nothing about the other person, and we really need to learn this in our society.
Yeah, exactly. And also to touch back on the community building, it is actually a way, because now social media is bringing us all apart, right? Like there's such a numbers of people or young adults who are like literally experiencing loneliness, depression, and sadness, and anxiety, and whatever. And these type of things, that's like bringing, just like the caveman days or the tribe days, just we are used to building a community. We are like social beings. We work together, and that's how we grow. That's how we build societies. But we are so programmed lately, and also in the Western culture, to like be individualistic and to be on your own, and the lone wolf and this and that. When in actual parts of wolf work in packs, right? They work together, and everybody has the role. But the communities that we are building, that's actually what's needed in this world, right? That's actually what's now needed, or like the demand, most likely in the society, right?
And what I already said, we as a human being need this connection to other people to feel alive, of a reflection of ourselves. Because, for an example, when you were alone on the world, you wouldn't survive, in the sense that you can't experience yourself because you can't see the other person. And we need the other person as a reflection of duality to find and seek for our own truth. So when we combine our forces as a human being, the only thing we have to do is the decisions we make. Do we make them by the ego, or do we make them by our heart or our soul? And that's a level of consciousness. So the community we are building is not just a community to be with each other. It's a community to raise the frequencies and higher awareness of the consciousness there is, so we can experience we are not only human beings, but we are light workers to contribute to the world and to the earth, and to help the earth to evolve in a cosmic perspective.
And don't you what is your perspective on like when people are just falling off, and the people are just like being more conscious and being more aware? Like there's like in my opinion, or in my experience, there's like being a divide in those two. People are just falling asleep and just staying in the old route or old habits, and there's the other part who's awakened. But the one who's sleeping, they are they think we are crazy, right? They think we are
Yeah.
delusional, going holding hands and singing songs and hugging trees.
Yeah. And that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's their belief system, it's their truth, and let them. For an example, in Corona time, you had 2 camps, vaccinated, non-vaccinated things, and a friend of mine asked me, Milan, when I have a conversation with someone and I know you are in the same camp as me, I said, oh, I'm not in the camp. The behavior I do isn't defining myself in one or another camp. And they say, what you do, you are in one camp and you want everyone to be in your camp, not be vaccinated. And in every conversation, you have a conflict about it. And you say, this is better because we are light beings, but that's not light. And I said to him, that's not my part in the total story of this. The only thing I do, I step aside, go in a meta position. I see that there are 2 camps, and that's just fine.
Yeah.
They have their belief system. They have their belief system. They are just bumping, mismatching to each other. Not more than that. So when you are in a camp of consciousness and the other were asleep, let them be asleep. What's the problem about that? But when you think or judge about the sleeping ones, you already in the same camp as the other ones. Just do your part in life the best way you can. Don't focus on others. Focus to be the best version who you want to be, who you are, so that your light will shine on the earth. And some of them say, hey, the sun is coming up. I have to be awake. And they will come to this side. And other ones will say, ooh, that's too bright. I just stay here in the darkness, which is totally fine.
Yeah, the humans have the power of their own choice, right?
Yeah, free will.
Free will, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome, Milan. We touched a lot of subjects in this podcast. It's lately I cannot see the time.
Time, it's it's 1:15. So
good time, right? If you do you have anything else to share for the young adults who are watching?
I just just imagine in which kind of world you want to live in. And the world we are living in right now is created by the choices in the past. It doesn't tell us about the things in the future. The first thing we have to do is go away from the world we're living in right now. That's the one step. The second step is to go, okay, when this isn't the world I want to live in what kind of world I do want to live in, connect to that one, and make the choices to be and become the person to live in that world. And when you do that, everything will end up well.
Like it should be, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And lately I also want to ask the question, but I'm trying to make it in a way that's compatible with yours. But I always ask my guests the question, what would you do if you knew you could never fail, but you're already actually doing the things that you're called to? But let's say back in the day, like when you were 7, or no, not 7. Let's say 20.
Yeah.
And then if you knew you could never fail, right? When you were in that dark place and you were getting bullied.
Yeah.
What would you do then?
It's a really difficult question because I really feel and think I'm doing the things I really want into life. Maybe I want to have a bigger audience, more people to reach in the community, but this is how you structure a building. You have to build it, and that's what we are doing with all of my team. And there are competitors in a market, so that's also life. But Maybe one thing, it's more, I want to give more retreats in Portugal or Suriname, of Curacao, things like that.
Yeah,
But
also
it's
Turkey.
yeah, maybe you can do that one. But it's on my timeline.
Yeah.
But I've got 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I have to make choices with all the projects we have. So I think, okay, when I do the things I'm doing now, we will get there.
Yeah.
But maybe it's in 1 year, maybe it's in 5 years. But I love my life, and one of the things I would be more love to have some more spare time. But that's just a choice I have to make, and it's not an obstacle to overcome.
No, you're already like you feel like you're already living your life's mission.
Yeah.
Awesome, Milan.
Yes.
Now, thanks for coming. Do you have anything like how the people can search you up? Is it only the Instagram, and via the Instagram they can look also the?
They can look me up at Instagram, milan.somers with a S, or milansomers.nl. It's the website. Just see what it is. There are also some free quantum timeline jumps people can do for appreciate life more, themselves more, and just seek me out. YouTube, just Milan Somers, and a lot of hits they will see.
Yeah, you're also sharing like quantum timeline jumps, like
every month.
Yeah, every month. Yeah, so you can join them.
The next one is 20 February, and then after 20 March the 20th of March. So just look it up.
Yeah. So I will link his information also in the comments below. And thanks all for watching this video. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please drop a like. And if you have everything to share or have an opinion on some things, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks you all for watching this video.
Bye-bye.
Peace.